Chapter 3057 begins on a light-hearted note at Wildridge Manor, where Callum is teasingly flaunting his married life in front of his brothers. Josh, who is also happily married, jokes with him, advising him not to show off his love too much. However, he reminds Josh of how he and Zachary used to flaunt their relationships before Callum was married. Now that it's his turn, he's determined to do the same, especially to those brothers who are still single. This playful banter causes Tatum, the only single man present, to quickly find an excuse to leave the room, not wanting to endure any more of the dog food that the married men are serving. Josh teases Tatum further, suggesting that he stay and learn from their experiences in order to avoid making mistakes when he eventually pursues a wife. But Tatum, confident in his own abilities, declares that he doesn't need such advice and can figure things out on his own. The atmosphere remains jovial, with the brothers enjoying each other's company and making light-hearted jabs at one another. Meanwhile, in stark contrast to the joyous atmosphere at the manor, the scene shifts to Carrie, who is facing a very different situation. She is anxiously waiting for the results of a pregnancy test at a hospital. Carrie, who has been unwell and vomiting, is terrified of the possibility that she might be pregnant. The thought of an abortion frightens her, not only because of the physical pain, but also because of the potential complications. Mr. Lab has suggested that she take medication to terminate the pregnancy at home, which only heightens her anxiety. Her situation is further complicated by the fact that she is using a fake identity for the examination, terrified that her sister Cameron might find out about her secret life as someone's mistress. This fear isolates her, leaving her to face this crisis alone. When the test results come back positive, confirming her pregnancy, she is overwhelmed with despair. She knows from her research that her symptoms are consistent with early pregnancy, and now her worst fears have been realized. As she answers a phone call from Mr. Lab, the conversation is cold and clinical. He immediately asks if the results are in, and upon learning that she is indeed pregnant, he tells her to return so that he can prescribe medication to terminate the pregnancy. She is left feeling conflicted after the call ends. The doctor, noticing her distress, asks her if she wants to keep the child. This question forces her to confront the harsh reality of her situation. The doctor warns her that the chances of the baby being deformed are higher because of her health and possibly the medications she has taken. The doctor advises that if she decides to keep the baby, she must be extremely careful and avoid any unnecessary risks during the pregnancy. Despite the risks, Carrie, in a moment of unexpected resolve, expresses a desire to keep the baby, at least until it can be further examined for any abnormalities. This decision marks a significant turning point for her, who has spent much of her time hiding from her problems and making choices out of fear. Now, she's contemplating a difficult path, driven by a newfound sense of responsibility and perhaps a deep seated hope that things might turn out differently.